trust me, bro, I did used to vape. But I don't vape now. Because either you're a truther or a liar. There's a little breath. What's up now?
Hey, tic tac. A lot of people want you to think that you are a monkey living in a spinning ball inside of a vacuum, right? Traveling at over 1.4 million miles per hour. You just don't feel it. Now, there are multiple different experiments that will make you think and or believe that you are a monkey on a spinning ball, right? One of them is the Cavendish experiment. So I looked it up and I said, is the Cavendish experiment a scientific method experiment? It says, yes, the Cavendish experiment is a widely considered a scientific method experiment that follows the scientific method. All right, dope. So it proves gravity. And then I come across this. While it's impossible to truly isolate gravity as a constant in a scientific method experiment, what? Now hold on. I just want you to understand. The only way to know that something is a fact, right, is through the scientific method experiment. Now, the only way to know, right, if a scientific method experiment has been proven correct is if you can verify a constant. It's impossible to truly isolate gravity as a constant. Meaning, it's not a scientific method fact. Meaning Google just lied here. Cavendish experiment is not a scientific method experiment to prove gravity. Because, well, Google debunked itself. So the next experiment, obviously, right, is the Foucault pendulum. Obviously, if the Earth is what's causing the motion, the Earth would start and or cause the motion of the Foucault pendulum, correct? Not so sure. I asked, can the Foucault pendulum start by itself? What did it say? No, the Foucault pendulum cannot start swinging on its own. What? So we have no scientific method proof of curvature. We have no scientific method proof of motion. Interesting, right? So we are told, right, that when it comes to flat Earth or heliocentrism, right, the whole curvature and the whole, we say that the heliocentrism just wrapped a flat Earth around a ball. They're like, no. Flat Earth just took a ball and then made the map flat. Okay, well, let's see which map came first, because obviously whichever thought process and or map came first would debunk the other, right? So hold on. So if curve and motion have not been proven through a scientific method-based experiment in the heliocentric community and or globe Earth, and then every time we talk about how, well, the globe is just a projection of a Gleason's map or a flat Earth map wrapped around a ball, they're like, well, no. Flat Earth is just a projection of the globe projected flat. Well, let's stop that nonsense. And let's see which one came first, right? Does the flat Earth come first or does heliocentrism come first? I'm curious. So I asked, right? Did flat Earth cosmology come before heliocentrism? Yes, flat Earth cosmology predates heliocentrism cosmology. Ancient civilizations like those of Egypt and Babylon generally believe the Earth is flat. So basically, it wasn't until Rockefeller, Rothschild, J.P. Morgan, and or Western civilization started to come about. All of a sudden, everything changed, and then, well, that must mean it's true, right? Hey, tic-tac. Have you guys seen that the Three Gorges Dam, China says, has been shown to cause the slowing of the Earth's rotation? Well, us in the truth community, or flat earthers, find that hilarious. Now, just to fill you in, right, why do we not feel the Earth's motion? Well, it's because we are all moving, the planet, everything, ocean, atmosphere rotate at the same constant speed as the Earth, meaning that we have to be in a constant speed. Otherwise, if there were any changes, we would feel it. Duh. Now, just for proof, it says, imagine standing on a smooth and perfectly balanced carousel that rotates at a constant speed. You wouldn't feel the movement because you're moving with the carousel, of course. But if the carousel was to suddenly speed up or slow down at all, you would definitely feel the change in motion. That's where the problem lies. You see, you can't have it both ways. We cannot be told that the only reason we cannot feel and or measure Earth's motion is due to the fact that, well, everything's constant. So, of course, well, duh, you can't feel it. We're told that the Three Gorges Dam has been shown to cause a slight slowing of the Earth's rotation. Any slowing or speeding up, and you would remember the definitely feel the change of speed. Meaning, if we were to slow down at all, we would be thrown into the void or vacuum of space due to their own heliocentric logic and or physics. Facts. So we already have a big problem. The only reason we don't feel motion is due to a constant circular motion, right? Because obviously an elliptical pattern is not constant motion. So we already have the news, media, everyone, science, everyone saying that, hey man, the Three Gorges Dam is now slowing down the speed. That's problem number one. If that was true, we would fly off the Earth. We know that, right? Problem number two, before we even get to the Gorges Dam, the Earth's orbit around the sun is elliptical. Wait, whoa, not circular. While it's nearly circular, it's not a perfect circle, and the slight elongation of the orbit is called oh, wait, so hold on. I'm curious. We can only feel constant motion in a perfect circle, but the Earth's orbit isn't elliptical. It sounds like they're making up cool words for the fact that things aren't mathing, right? The math isn't mathing. Now listen, man, don't just take me for it, right? Don't ask me, right? Elliptical is constant. It could be. Are you sure? No, an elliptical pattern is not considered constant motion. We can stop there, but we'll go. While an elliptical orbit has a constant size, shape, and orientation, the object's speed and direction are constantly changing as it moves along. Except the planets, for example, the sun and the elliptical path varies. A little propaganda at the end, huh? Always got to throw that in there. But I'll let you be the judge. You tell me, do you believe in Google and government or science and provable facts?
Elon's gonna come after me right here on this one, y'all, straight up. You know this Tesla in space? What if I have alleged proof that it's actually in a studio? Have a live stream clip. Watch this. Seriously, y'all, watch this. Watch. Bloop, bloop. Look. So that was slowed down in the live stream. Bloop, bloop. Now look, it's about to show it again. Now y'all tell me why. Look, there it is. What is that right there, and why would it do that during a live stream? Look at it. I'm just going back and forth with it. Explain that, why don't y'all? I mean, really though, look at this. Look at the panels. See the panel? Forget y'all, this is all alleged just for fun, okay? This is the rack that it was probably sitting in. Yeah, I'm sure it's not the same one, or either it is, and they were just practicing before they sent it up there maybe. However, those panels look awfully familiar, don't they? That's weird. See the little the little lines? Just saying, dude. I mean, who knows, right?
I ain't gonna lie. This looked realer than Neil Armstrong when he walked on that motherfucker, supposedly.
Now here's a neat video. This couple was trying to disprove flat earth theory, so they took a laser out across water, a lake, 16.42 miles away to measure the curvature of the laser over water. You can see right there, 16.42. The observer would have had to have been 130 feet tall in order to see the laser from 16.42 miles away. However, the camera was only 2 feet above the water and could still see it. Explain.
Good morning, aloha from Florida. So real quick, the Antikythera mechanism and the speeds of the sun and the moon. Now, a long time ago, at least 5,000 or 6,000 years ago, someone figured out that the moon moves a little bit faster month to month as it moves from the Tropic of Cancer out over the equator to the Tropic of Capricorn and back every single month. The sun will do the same circuit, but it takes a year to do the same circuit. On the circular path, the sun laps the moon once a month, and it's a little bit faster as it goes around the magnetic center. But on that spirograph pattern, the moon goes much faster. Now, in the Antikythera mechanism, as the sun and moon are moving over the surface of a flat and stationary Earth, they speed up and slow down. They go a little faster as they are going south of the equator around the circuit of the outer realm or outer edge of our flat and stationary Earth. They go a little slower as they go over the Tropic of Cancer north of the equator. This is observable, measurable, and repeatable, and has been for thousands of years. It's harder to tell with the sun because the sun is making that spirograph journey so much slower than the moon. It's faster to tell with the moon. Now, in the Antikythera mechanism, there was a pin and a slot in one of the bronze gears. And they figured out not only the motions of the luminaries, but they figured out how to mimic or how to copy the motions of the moon moving faster and slower each month with this little slot and this little pin in it inside of these bronze gears at least 2,000 years ago. So history is just as fake as the globe. Whoever had the software that went into the hardware, whoever had the knowledge that went into the Antikythera mechanism was much more advanced than we are today. They had much more knowledge than we do today of the sky. So start paying more attention to the sky. If you haven't seen our documentary called The Mechanical Realm about the Antikythera mechanism, and if you enjoy history, if you enjoy historical artifacts, and if you enjoy astronomy and the motions of the sun, the moon, the planets, and the fixed constellations, I think you'll enjoy it. Again, it's called The Mechanical Realm. It's by a friend of mine named Vika Draziv. That's V-I-K-K-A. Draziv is D-R-A-Z-I-V. So again, the sun and the moon move at different speeds throughout the year depending on where they are on their circuit. The moon moves at a different speed every month. The Earth is not rotating at 15 degrees per hour. The Earth is not moving at all. It's not rotating, it's not revolving, it's not tilting, it's not wobbling, it's not spiral vortexing. The Earth is flat and stationary, and all the luminaries are moving in perfect repeating cycles over our flat and stationary surface and around our magnetic center. Start paying more attention to the sky and enjoy the beauty of it. Enjoy the mystery of it. Ultimately, all the luminaries are a mystery, but the movements of them are not a mystery. They've been well known for a long time. Have a great day. God bless.
Well, folks, we have another one for you today, don't we, Scott?
It is so. This is a very good one indeed. Apollo 11, liftoff from the lunar surface. Supposed to be continuous feed from a camera, and yet it's highly edited.
Well, Apollo 11, we start at 3422. And we're just going to go through it in the editor so we could see what's going on. This is taken at 24 frames per second. So let's just have a look within those frames. Oh, wait a minute. What do we see here? We see at 34:25:17, and we go to 18. Wait a minute. Where did all the frames go? It goes to 19, and then it just cuts. Now look at the crater right here over on the left-hand side. Now isn't it amazing how that crater just stretched? And not only that, but all of the craters right here in the middle. Whoa, where did it go? Where did that crater just go?
A bunch of them changed shape there too, didn't they?
Let's count and see how many frames are missing from this. And then we're going to throw a hypothesis up here.
So that happens in 1/24th of a second.
1/24th of a second. Now we're going to come up to this. And there you go. So if you were to go from here to here, there is 13 frames that are missing here. Where did those frames go? Well, friends, we have an idea where those frames went. Because as this limb is taking off from the surface, supposedly, there's a point where they're going to have to make a cut from the mold or plaster mold, whatever they're using to make this scene here. They have to make a cut to the scenery when they're higher up. The Skotax brothers did this very well years ago. There's no other place in this video where we could find this. They had to make it somewhere. And I believe that this is where they made that transition right here. Because the craters are changing shape. That cannot happen between 11 missing frames. And look at this one up here. There's a lot of strange things going on. Special effects people normally would have used something like this line to mask it. Not this time. So if they're going to make a cut, this is where it's going to be.
So they lost a few frames when they were doing the editing job as well. And then as it continues on, then it appears then that it is then orbiting.
This is just rocking and rolling on that cable, lifting it off the mold. You can also see that the lem seems to be falling apart because there's pieces falling off of it. What a sad situation.
Okay, well, you asked for it. I mean, really? Is this literally not the same as the Gleason's map? You have your winter and your summer solstices. You have your scale. You clearly see all of the continents. You even have the triangle that shows the sundial as it goes around our home. It's literally the same. Only it doesn't have the indicator markers. Do you know who this guy is? His name is Robert Simon. He is the lead data visualizer and information designer for the Blue Marble. Let's go see what he has to say. The hardest part, oh look, flat map. Then we wrapped the flat map around the ball. Would you like a visual on that? I mean, there is a reason why all of these organizations use this map as their logo. The World Meteorological Organization, the International Maritime Organization, boop, the International Civil Aviation Organization, the World Health Organization. But let's go see what Robert meant when he said, then we wrapped the flat map around a ball. We can even use this map. You know, the one that you're talking about. Here's your flat map being wrapped around a ball, where they take Antarctica and make it a continent at the bottom of a ball. Did that go by too fast for you? Let's watch it again. Here you go. And then I've added something else in here just for shits and giggles. Now what I find even more interesting is that you people don't even know the model that you defend. So you have the Earth's spin at 1,000 miles per hour. Then it's simultaneously doing an elliptical orbit around the sun at 66,600 miles per hour. Then it's simultaneously being pulled by the sun's gravity through the universe at like 483,000 miles per hour, while the universe is also expanding. And if they tell us that the total circumference of this Earth is 24,901 miles, at some point you have to have a physical curve. Yet, all observable observation from land to sea and air show a stationary level plane. So something's not adding up. Is it? If I show you a picture of Superman, does that make Superman real? No, it doesn't. You know you don't have to believe everything that you're told in school or in the universities. You do realize who funded our general education system, right? Or are you not ready for that conversation? And you do realize anybody can make a Wikipedia account and change words how they see fit. Do you want me to show you that too? See? Log in. Now, in your defense, it's not your fault. You were conditioned to be this way. But now that I've shown you the truth, you can either choose to wake up or you can choose to still be willfully blind. The choice is up to you. Free will is a birthright.
The Flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni, and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Idialenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.